In this easy Procreate tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to create this realistic paper cut design step by step. Before we begin, you can download all tutorial files free of charge via the link in the video description. And now if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. We need to create a new canvas. So let's tap on the plus icon in the right corner, then New Canvas, and set the dimensions to 2000 by 2500 pixels. Keep DPI at 300 and choose sRGB color profile from RGB for more natural colors. Click Create. Now that we have the canvas, let's change the background color. Just need to go here in the layers, and then from the color palette, select color number 2. Now we can start creating our first paper layers. To make them look naturally cut with scissors, I suggest using basic incliner brush. Unlike technical pen or monoline, it's just not so smooth. And you can find this brush in the tutorial set. There is also a couple paper brushes that we will apply in the end. If you like my free YouTube tutorials, but still want to take your Procreate skills to a whole new level and support me at the same time, please consider joining me on Patreon, where I've already shared hundreds of premium quality brushes and advanced drawing tutorials in many different styles. You will find a link to it in the video description. Let's now go to change the color, and it will be number 1. That is almost white. For this brush we need to set the size to around 15%. So it will look like this. After that, we can activate Symmetry tool. So let's go to Actions, Add, switch to Canvas, and enable Drawing Guide. Then go to Edit Drawing Guide and select Symmetry from the menu. It will be set to vertical, and we will use this one. Just need to click Done. First, let's draw a vertical line. You can start somewhere here and go up. If you wait a second, it will get straight, but if you tap on the finger, it will go perfectly up, so we can adjust the height. Now we can connect them at the lower side. Let's also tap on the canvas, and it will match perfectly. After that, we need to draw an arc on top. Let's mark a point here on the axis and start drawing carefully. Just like this. Now we can adjust it, especially on top and where it connects to the line. After that, we need to fill the outer area around this shape. Let's start dragging the color, and if you see any imperfections that need to be fixed, you can do it here too. Now we can remove the drawing guide from the canvas and also drawing assist from the layer. To create more papers, let's just duplicate this layer. Go to the one underneath and recolor it. It will have color number 3. All we need to do is select the color and just drag it like this. Let's increase color drop threshold, and it'll look like this. Now let's transform it. We just need to click on the arrow, switch to freeform, and do this. Let's push it down and inwards on the sides. Here. Just try to make it even on all sides. We can also push it from the bottom. Like this. Maybe I will make it a little wider, so it'll look better. This way. Now let's duplicate the initial layer one more time, so we don't ruin the texture more. And drag one of them underneath. We also need to recolor this one. This time it'll be color number 4. Let's select it and also drag it on the layer like this. Now let's transform this one using the same technique and try to make it the same thickness as the previous paper. This time we can do it faster, we already know what to do. So now it looks like a rainbow shape, just different colors. Okay, let's duplicate layer number one last time, this one on top, and also drag it under. Now recolor it into color 5. Let's also fill the layer first, and then transform. We need to push it more down, like this, and do it from all sides. Okay, let's try to keep the symmetry. So I'm gonna push it a little upper, and it's done. Now that we got these paper layers, we can add shadows to them to make it look more like paper cut. Let's start with this top layer. Just need to duplicate it, tap on the layer underneath, and change its color into a dark one. Since the layer underneath has this brown color, we need to make it even darker, so let it be color 15. We just need to drag it on the layer, and after that apply Gaussian blur to make it pop up. Let's set the amount around 11% and keep it like this for now. Deselecting and go into the next layer. Let's also duplicate this one. Tap on the layer underneath, and for this one use color 16. Also drag it on the layer first and then blur at the same amount. It was 11%. Deselect for now and go to the next one. We also need to duplicate it, tap here and select the next color 17. Drag it on this one, then apply Gaussian blur at 11%, same as we did with the ones before. Now let's go to the last one, it's here at the bottom. I'm going to duplicate it, tap here, and since we have this bluish greenish color, we need to use color 18. Let's drag it on the yellow, and then blur. Now to make it look even better, we need to select all the layers for the shadows, the dark ones, click on the arrow, and using freeform transformation, we can drag it to one side. So I will push it down like this, and also to the left. Now it looks even deeper. You can adjust the thickness by moving it to different sides. Alright, maybe we can push it slightly upper, but this part at the bottom won't be seen. So we can deselect it now, and if you'd like you can adjust the darkness of the shadows. For example, I think we can make this one just a little bit darker, like this. And that's fine. In the next step, we will start adding details on the foreground. So let's go to the top layer and add another one on top of it. Right here. We will start drawing some rocks. Let's change the brush into the same but with pressure to get tapered tips. And the first color that we will use will be number 3. Let's set the brush size to 15%, and to align the lower edge, we can use rectangular selection without color fill. Just need to outline a rectangle a little bit lower than our frame and go up like this. Now let's tap on the brush and draw the first shape starting from the corner. Like this. Just make a curve. Now we can fill it and then draw another one at some distance. Let's make it slightly different. It can go this way. And now we can fill it too. Let's change the color into number 4 and draw between. Just a couple more shapes. Let's fill this one and draw the last one starting from this corner. I'm dragging the color into it, and the first layer is ready. Let's create another one. We need to drag it down, so we can keep drawing. The selection is still active, so we need to start from the lower side and create more shapes. We can actually draw one like this, then fill it, then add another layer underneath, and pick the next color, number 5. So we can now draw bigger. They also need to start from the bottom. Let me draw one more here, and then I will fill both of them, like this. Let's add another layer below this one and make a bigger curve that can intersect the previous layer. Now we need to fill it. Add one more layer below and make an arc that will go even higher. Let me adjust it a little bit and then fill. We can select color number 6 here. And now let's go to create a new layer, but this time under the shadow for the orange color, above the yellow layer. And now we can add more shapes. We can draw one this way, fill it again, and then another one on the left. Let's also fill this one. And after that, add one more layer under it. Go back to color number 5, so we can draw even more. Let's make a curve like this. Then also fill it. I'm creating another layer under it and switching to color number 4. Let's draw the biggest shape that will go diagonally through this area. Then we need to fill it too. And this part is done. We can remove selection. In the next part of the video, we will start adding shadows to each shape. So let's start with the current one. We just need to duplicate it, go to the one underneath, and recolor it. Let's select color 18 according to the background. We can just drag it on the shape and then apply Gaussian blur. Let's set it to 10% and then deselect. Now let's duplicate another layer that was on top. And considering the color of the layer underneath, here we can use color 16. Also drag it on the shape. Let's also blur it at the same amount. It was 10%. Now let's duplicate layer number 14. It's this one. We can tap and hold here to see the shapes. Then select color 17 and fill them. I will tap and hold again. Now we also need to blur this one at 10%. Deselecting. Let's keep doing this and go to the layer on top. It's this one. We need to duplicate it, then go here and apply alpha lock, so we can recolor all shapes at once using color 16. Let's just click fill layer and then remove alpha lock to be able to blur it. Set into 10% too. Let's now duplicate layer number 10. It's the next one. Here we can just fill it like this, with color 17. I will tap and hold again, and then blur it. So we are repeating the same steps for now. This is how you make paper cut effect. Let's duplicate layer 11. That comes next. Go down. I will also keep only this layer. Recolor and bring it back. Then we need to blur it at 10%. Then duplicate layer number 12. It's this one on the left. Go to the layer below. We can use color 16. I will drag it here. Then blur. When picking these colors, I'm considering the colors underneath. So now we can duplicate the last one. Also go down. Let me see it. Then I will switch to color 17 and fill. I'm going to blur this one. Okay. Now let's go to layers and select all the layers with the shadows so we can adjust them. We need to select these two. Then click on the arrow. Here we can use freeform. And now we can move them a little bit diagonally up and left. We can also push it to the left side. I think this is nice. We can deselect. Now let's adjust a few shadows according to the backgrounds. First we can go to layer 16 with green color, apply alpha lock on it, select color 16, and using rectangular selection with color fill, we can just outline it like this, on both sides, where it comes on the yellow papers. Let's see what else we can adjust. Let's change this shadow. Just need to find the layer. It's here, number 10. We also need to alpha lock it using color 15. Just outline it on this part. It will change the color instantly. Let me first select color 17. Here we can adjust it using soft brush and then just paint it. Due to alpha lock, it will be applied only on the shadow and won't go outside it. That's it. Now I'd like to get rid of the shadows at the bottom, just by cutting. We can start with layer number 9, remove color fill, and just match it with the edge. Then swipe 3 fingers and cut. Let's do it on the next layer with the shadow. I will also cut it. Now let's go to the next one. Do the same. There are a couple more, so let's do it on this one. Cut. And then go to layer 13. And also do it. Now it looks much better. Before we start adding more details such as grass and flowers on the sides, I'd like to make a few adjustments. So if you like, you can make them too. For example, I'd like to change the color of one of the layers, just a little bit, for diversity. It will be layer number 10. Let's tap on it. Then go to Adjustments, and in Hue Saturation Brightness, I will increase both brightness and saturation to 53%. So it'll look slightly different. Like this. To make it even more detailed, we can do the following. Apply alpha lock on the layer, then select color 16 and go to change the brush into soft brush from airbrushing. We can lower the opacity to around 83%. Then click on Selection, switch to Freehand and remove Color Fill. What we need to do is outline it, starting somewhere here, and try to match it with this corner. From here it will go to the right side. We need to tap to close the selection, and then tap on the brush to activate it. Now with the size set to around 3%, let's make a subtle stroke here, with very low pressure, and go slightly down, to add the shadow, so it will look like it was cut with the scissors. Let's deselect it and see. It looks like this. Now we can add a similar detail somewhere else, for example here. So we need to go back to Selection and outline it in the similar way. It can have a different angle. Then go to the right side. We need to tap on it, then on the brush, and draw the shadow manually, with very low pressure, so it doesn't get too dark. Let's make a few strokes, and then remove selection to check. This is how it will look. Alright, also I think this circle on the left side looks too big, because we will put some grass here. We will need more space. To adjust the shape, we need to select the layer together with its shadow. It is layer number 12, so I will select both layers, then click on the arrow, and when transformation menu opens, we can use warp. I will just push it down like this, so we can space for the grass. Exactly the same way you can adjust more layers if needed. Now I'm going to deselect this one, and finally we can start drawing the grass. First I will work on the right side. For that we need to create a layer under the shadow for the layer number 10. Let's click on the plus button here, and after that select color number 13. Also we need to go to change the brush. From our brush set, let's use basic incliner with pressure, and set its size to around 15 or 16%. Let's draw the first layer of grass blades, and try to cover this corner of the frame. If you change the pressure that we apply on the pencil, the tips will look sharp, and we can keep some distance between these grass blades. Also make some of them curvy like this. Let's now create a layer under this one, and draw more between these. This time they can be longer. Let's also make some of them curvy. Change the pressure, and go higher. Also outside the frame like this. They can have different shapes, like something like this. Also curves. We can also try to make one of them longer. This is where we will put a flower, like this. Now let's create the last layer, and just draw more. This way. We can change the direction somewhere here, and also go outside. Let's have a look at it. Maybe a couple more. And it's done. Now we just need to add shadows to each layer. Let's first duplicate this one on top. Go to the one under it. Set it to multiply mode. And then apply Gaussian blur. This time we can set it to a small amount, at around 6 or 7%. Also, to make it even darker, we can go to Hue Saturation Brightness, and then set brightness to around 25% and saturation to 30%. Let's remember these values, so we can apply them to other layers too. So now I'm going to duplicate layer number 26, go here and repeat all the same steps, starting from changing the layers mode to multiply, then blurring it at 7%, and then darkening. So let's also set brightness to 25% for this one, and saturation to 30%. Like this. Need to deselect it, and do the same with the last layer. Let's set it to multiply. Then go to adjustments, first blur it at 7%, and then make it dark. We also need to set brightness to 25 to keep the same values, and saturation to 30. Now let's just select all the layers with the shadows. Click on the arrow and adjust the location. Here we can try to use warp or just move it. Let's drag it a little bit up and slightly to the left. Let's remove it and check how it looks. Maybe it can be just a little bit bigger, but to adjust the size correctly, we need to select all the layers together with the shadows. All 6. Actually, we can select them all and group now. It will be easier this way. Now let's click on the arrow. I will switch to uniform and make it bigger like this, just by scaling it and then dragging it slightly down. Also, if you like, you can rotate it and change the shape using warp. It will be applied both to shadows and main shapes. Okay, now I think it looks much better. So I'm gonna keep it like this, remove selection, so we can draw a little more grass on the left. But before doing this, we can reduce the number of layers, because we already have a lot. What we can do is merge each layer for the paper with its shadow. For example, we have 2 layers number 11. We can go ahead and merge them, because the shadow is in normal mode too, and it won't change. Let's keep doing it this way. And we can do the same for the papers on the frame. So we can merge these two, then this, and keep doing the same with other layers. Let's merge these two, then this, and we have a few on top. Layer 9 and layer 10. So now it looks like we don't have too many layers, and it won't be easy to get confused. Alright, let's find the place for the grass. We have some empty space here, so we can fill it. Just need to find the layer. It's number 12, and we need to create one under it. Just like this. Here we can apply color number 2, which is rather light. We can use basic incliner pressure brush again, but in a slightly different way. Let's start drawing sort of triangles. Like this. Another one. Then we can skip some distance and draw a few more. They can go in different directions, for example, to the left side. Now let's draw a bigger one somewhere here. This. Another small one. Maybe a couple here. And then a few more that can go outside. Let's do it this way. Just more triangles, maybe with a smaller brush size, to make the tips sharp. Like this. I will draw a few more. If you like, you can just close the shape and fill. Now let's draw to this side. And we can also keep some gaps. Let me draw a couple more between this. And after that we can create another layer under this one to draw more grass blades. This will be even bigger. So let's start somewhere here, between this. I will fill it, and then draw one more. They can intersect each other. Now let's add a couple bigger ones that will be connected like this, like a group of grass blades. And then a couple more that will go to the left. They can also look like leaves. Let me draw it this way. Alright. And now we can draw the last one. So it'll also have 3 layers. Let's create one more under this one and finish it. So we can just draw a few bigger ones like this, going out. Also between these grass blades. Maybe a couple more like this. When the last one is filled, we can start adding shadows. So let's start with layer 20. Again, I'm going to duplicate it and repeat what we did with the previous layer, but we will need to darken it more. So let's also set it to multiply first. Then apply Gaussian blur. Here we can try to set it to 8%, because these shapes are bigger. Now let's go to hue saturation brightness. And maybe lower brightness to 20%. Also lower saturation. We can already see the result. Saturation can be set to 25 here. Something like this. So let's remember 25 and 20. But these values can be adjusted later, of course, too. Let's go to layer 21. I'm going to duplicate it again. Tap here. Multiply. Now let's blur it. Add 8%. And after that adjust brightness and saturation. It was 20 and 25 as far as I remember. Like this. Let's do it with the last one. Duplicating. Now we can set it to multiply too. It's better to use multiply mode when you have a few different colors behind it, so it will be blended better. Okay, we set it to multiply. Now let's blur it at 8%. Then set saturation to 20% and brightness to 25. After it is done, we can move the shadow. Let's select these 3 layers. Click on the arrow. And maybe we can try to use warp here. Just drag it like this, so it'll look cooler. Like it is dropping this cast shadow on the paper underneath. You can also drag it a little bit this way. Alright. I think it is fine. Let's deselect this one. I think I will just adjust the small shadow a little more, so it will be seen better, like this. Now I like the result, and we can draw the last bush, somewhere here in the middle. Maybe between these 2 layers with yellow color to separate them. Alright. We have this one, so we can actually create a layer under it. Right here. And here we can apply 2 different colors. starting with number 6. Let's keep using this brush and just draw some grass blades, but try to make them even more curvy. We can set the size to 14% and do it like this. Let me increase it a little and paint more. Some shorter ones. Go to the right side with more. I think I will draw another one. And now, instead of drawing more grass blades, we can do this. Just duplicate the layer and recolor one underneath. Let's apply alpha lock on it and then select color number 3. Now let's go back to it, tap on the layer and fill it. We can now remove alpha lock, click on the arrow and using uniform transformation, just make it bigger and also rotate it. We can try to flip it horizontal to make it look different, and also use warp to adjust the shape. Just drag it to different sides however you want. Okay, I think I like how it looks now, so we can add the shadows here too. I'm going to duplicate layer 26 one more time, then go to this one underneath, and then again set it to multiply. So on these details, we apply a slightly different technique. Let's now blur it. I think can be 8% again. This is too light, so we need to darken it, as we did with the layers with the grass. Let's start lowering the brightness and also saturation until you like how the shadow looks. I think we can try to set it to 21% and saturation to 30%. It will get this dark. Now let's go to layer 26. I mean the one underneath because it is a copy. Duplicate it once again and also set it to multiply. Let's blur it to 8% too. And then adjust brightness and saturation. We are not changing the hue here. Brightness and saturation will be enough. So we can set saturation to maybe 35. Because the initial colors were different, so these values may be different too. We need to see the result. Okay, I think in order not to make it too dark, we can keep it at around 20%. Something like this. Now we just need to select these two layers with the shadows and also adjust them. Let's do it like this. We can drag it a little bit to the left on top and down at the bottom. Something like this. When you like the result, just go ahead and deselect. Okay, now we can add the flowers quickly. First let me group these 4 layers, then these layers for the grass on the left side. And this one is already grouped. What we can do is create another layer on top of all layers to put the flowers. Before we add the flowers, since they have the light color same as this paper on top, we can apply a subtle gradient above this layer with the light color. Since we have it together with the shadow on one layer, to apply it only on the light color, we can go to Selection and use it in Automatic. Just tap like this. It will select only light color. If it didn't, You may need to adjust selection threshold. And after it worked, we need to go to select the color number 19. And also soft brush. The opacity can be still at 83%. And the size at around 31. Let's start making strokes on the right side. Go a little bit at the bottom. And also up. Keep the corner light. This is where we will place the flower, so let's apply a little bit more pressure on it. Also go to the left, and after that select color number 2. Start applying it from the left corner, and go slightly up, with very low pressure. Let's make a stroke that will go to the right side, maybe a little bit here, and after that select color 20. So we can apply it here in the corner and try to keep all the colors blended. Now let's lower the size. Maybe set it around 15% and start drawing around the frame. Like this. On the edge. And go a little up. Just like this. Now we can make it even smaller and make a line under these rocks. Keep it a little thin. Let's make another stroke. And after we did this, we can add the flowers. Now they will pop. So let's remove our selection. As you see, the shadow is not damaged, it's fine. Now we can go to the layer that we created. It's here. And also pick color number 1. There will be a few flowers, and in such cases, I always like to use stamps, instead of drawing the same object multiple times. There is a flower stamp in the brush set, so let's select it. And first set the size to around 10 or 9%. We just need to tap somewhere on the canvas. Now let's move it a little bit and try to match it with one of the stems. I think we can place it somewhere here. And after that, recolor some of the petals. As you see, they are not touching, so it will be easy. We just need to select color 14 from the palette and drag them here. 1, 2, and 3. Here you may need to adjust color drop threshold, if it fills a bigger area. OK. After that, we need to add a shadow. So let's just duplicate the flower. Then apply alpha lock on it. And using color number 12 from the palette, we can fill it from this menu. After that, we need to remove alpha lock to be able to apply Gaussian blur. I think we can set it to around 8% as well. Now let's move it a little bit to this side, or even switch to warp. And just push it right here. And if we set it to multiply, the color will get darker. Maybe we can go and make it even darker here. Like this. Alright. Now that we have one flower together with the shadow, we can select them, then group, and duplicate the group. Let's now make this one smaller and place it on the left side, somewhere here. Maybe I will scale it a little bit more, like this. Now let's duplicate the first group once again and drag it to the left side. This time it can go a little bit lower, but with the same size. Something like this. Maybe even lower. And now that's better. The foreground is ready. And before we proceed with the background, I think we can free some space here. So I'm gonna move this big layer, number 16, just by using freeform transformation. Like this. It was just too high. Also, I want to move this one. Maybe use warp to adjust the shape a little. I do these adjustments sometimes. It's totally fine. Now it looks better. And we can start working on the background. So we can now create a layer on top of all layers and draw a circle for the sun. It'll have color number 6. Let's select this brush that has no pressure sensitivity. The size can be still at 15%, and we need to draw a circle, like this. Let's tap on the canvas and then adjust the size. It doesn't have to be very big. Now let's fill it, like this, and then move. We can place it somewhere in the center, right here. Now we can also add a shadow to it, just by duplicating the layer. Then we need to recolor the one underneath into color 18. Let's just drag it and then blur. Let's keep the amount of Gaussian blur at 8%. Now we can also try to use warp tool and just push the shadow to the side like this. After that, we can merge these two layers. Also, we can paint a few clouds. They will have the lightest color, number 1. Let's just find suitable places for them. And I think the first one can be located right here. So we can add a layer on top of it and draw. Let's draw a very simple shape that would be easy to cut from paper. At the bottom it will be just straight. So we can make a line like this, even tap on the canvas to make it perfectly straight. And then start drawing arcs. Like this. Let's go up. And draw another one like this, just connect it to the right side. Let's fill the shape. And after that it can be adjusted too if needed. I will keep it like this, maybe just move it a little bit to the left. Alright, somewhere here. We can add a shadow to it. So let's duplicate, go to this one, and recolor it into color 18. Let's also blur it. Maybe at 8 or 9%. And we will move it later, together with shadows of other clouds after we draw them. Now we need to find a place for another couple of clouds. I want to put it under this brown layer. This one. So we need to create a layer under it. Then go back to color number 1. And draw another shape somewhere here in the gap. Let's just draw arcs. They can be small like this. Now we can draw a straight line. I will tap and connect it. Let's also make it rounded like this. Also, we need to close it on this side and then fill. Of course, you can adjust it too. Now let's add a shadow to this. So I'm just going to duplicate, go here, and first we can also paint it into color 18. So I'm just gonna drag it, okay. Now let's blur. 8% is still fine for us. And to draw the last cloud, we need to create a layer somewhere between these two. I'm going to select color number 1 again and fill this gap on the right. I think I will first draw a straight line here, like this. Maybe move it so it's not so big. And now I will just draw these arcs, 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. Close it and fill. Very simple. Let's also add shadow to this cloud in the same way. Now we can blur it at 8%. Fine. And now we can move the shadows. So let's select them all. We need to find layers with this green color. 1, 2, and 3. Then click on the arrow and drag them a little bit to the side, like this. After that we can recolor some of the shadows. So let's find this one. Apply alpha lock on it. And then I will select color 17. Actually we can use rectangular selection, or maybe in freehand, and just do it like this. Outline and click color fill. It will change its color. And now it looks more organic. Let's do the same on this one. It's layer 44. So I'm going to alpha lock it. Here we can first use the same color on the layer with yellow color. Like this. Now let's deselect it. Pick color 16. Let's just outline the yellow part, like this. And when it is filled, we can change the color into 16 and do it on the next part, just like this. Now it looks much better. We can go ahead and merge all the cloud layers with their shadows, because they're all in normal mode, just to reduce the amount of layers, like this. In the next step, we need to split this area into two parts. The lower part will be for the river with islands, and the upper one for the mountains. Before doing this, we can merge a few more layers, since we are done with the foreground. We can merge layers from 14 to 16, also layer 11 and 12, and then 9 and 10. Now let's find the layer with this color and create another one under it. Now we need to pick the color from this rock, it's the one we adjusted, and select basic ink liner with the size set around 13 or 12%. Let's start drawing a horizontal curve, like this, and in the end it'll go slightly up. Now let's draw at the lower side, just like this. Go more to the right, and then down. We need to connect them on both sides, and then fill. Here we can do it the following way. Just add another curve that we need to match with the lower side. Let's finish it and also fill. So we are building the river shape this way. Okay. We will add a shadow to it later, Now let's start drawing the mountains. And for that we need to create a layer under it. The first color that we will use will be number 7. First we can draw at the bottom. Let's start somewhere here and just make a similar curve to add thickness to this part. It will also go down. And then we can draw on top just some mountain peaks. Like this. It can go up again on the left side, but not too high. Let's connect this on both sides so we can fill. Maybe we can make these peaks a little bit more rounded, especially on the right side. So I'm going to select eraser that is set to the same brush and just erase it like this. Small adjustment. Okay. Now let's add one more layer right under this one. And select the next color, number 8. So we can draw one more shape. Let's make these mountains higher. But keep some more space for a couple more layers. So here it can go down with more curves and then up again. Let's also close it on the sides and fill. Just very simple shapes. Now let's add another layer under the current one and pick color 9. Here we can add a smaller layer that is barely seen. Just make more curves like this and then go up to the side. Let's close it and fill. For the next layer of mountains, I think we can create a layer under this yellow one. So let me drag it down. It will be located right above the background. And for this one, we are gonna use color number 10. So let's just draw the last shape. It can start somewhere here, go down, even more down, and then up again to fill this empty space. Let's close it and fill it as well. Maybe I will just move this cloud a little bit upper, like this, and also move the sun. Okay, let's now create a layer under layer 43 to paint water. We need to pick color number 8 and using rectangular selection together with color fill, just outline a rectangle like this. It will be filled. We can deselect and apply alpha lock on the layer to add a gradient. So let's pick color 19, go back to selection and outline another rectangle. After that we need to deselect and apply Gaussian blur. Due to alpha lock, it will be blurred only in the middle, but not on the sides. We can set it to 25%. Now let's pick color number 5 and add another layer under layer 42, above layer 42, so we can paint islands. Let's start drawing from the left side and go down like this. Then close it here and fill. On the right side it can be smaller and look a little bit different. Something like this, just a couple curves. Let's also fill this one. And then create one more layer under it. Let's use color 11 and just draw this way, under the shape. We can fill this one and then draw on the right. Let's also connect it and drag the color. Now we can add another layer under it, pick color 12 and finish it on this side. Just make a similar shape. Let's fill it. And on the right side, I'd like to change the color into number 6. So we can draw the last shape here too. Let's fill it. And these shapes are ready. Let's now create a layer above layer 47 and draw one more shape, just a couple curves. Like this. At the bottom it can be flat. Let's close it. Then fill this one. Create one more layer. Then we can pick the color from this part and draw the last small shape right here. Let's also fill it. Okay, these are done. Let's now select color number 18, go to the layer with water, add another one above it, and clip, so we can add details, using soft brush. Let's set it to 5%, and first add a shadow here on top. You can change the pressure. Let's also add a subtle shadow here. Here I'm not pressing too much. Now we can lower the size and paint under this island. Then under this one. Here the color needs to look lighter, so I will press just a little bit. Like this. Now we can lower the opacity a little bit, go to selection and using freehand without color fill, just make an arc like this. Let's go up, close it, and then paint above this line. To make it look like it was cut. Then deselect it, activate selection again, and draw a curve on the right side, following the shape of the river. Let's also outline it, and paint on the right side. I'm deselecting again, then selecting, and continue going along the river. Let's also outline it on the right, and then paint like this. Here we can adjust it with the razor that is set to soft brush. Go back to selection and continue. We can make another curve this way, but this time outline it on the left. Tap on the brush and make a small stroke. Let's go more to the right side now. First I will draw a curve from here on the left and paint. Not pressing too much on the light color. We can deselect it and draw the last curve. It will start from here, go to the right, and then down. Let's paint under this selection. Deselect, and to adjust it, we can use liquify. Just make the size bigger, and you can push it however you want. It is ready. We can merge these two layers. Go to layer 47, create another one with a clipping mask. Then select color 17, and using selection and freehand, add some details here too. We can outline it this way, then go up like this, close it, and paint above it. So we are creating this shadow manually, without creating too many layers. We can deselect it and draw one more shape between these two to make another layer of paper. Let's go to the right with a curve and then up. Then paint above this selection with subtle pressure in order not to make it too dark. We can deselect this one and maybe make it just a little bit more saturated and slightly darker. Now we can deselect it, merge these two layers, and go to the layer underneath. Let's add another one above it, clip it, and set it to multiply mode, so we can add a shadow here too. We can pick this brown color, and then just paint it, like this, under the shape. Let's make the size slightly bigger maybe, and also paint on the right. Just this way. Here we can also adjust the color a little bit. This time I will lower saturation and also brightness. Now these two layers can be merged. We can go to the next one, do the same. Also set it to multiply and paint. These papers are getting volume. We can apply the same color on the right side, just like this. Let's make subtle adjustments. I'll just make it less saturated and darker, like this. Deselect. Now we can pick the color from here, the dark one. Go to layer 50, make another one above it, and paint the shadow that comes from the small shape on this paper. Like this. Then we can go to layer 47 again, maybe just alpha lock it, and using color 17, paint a shadow under the paper. Like this, just to separate these shapes from each other. Let's keep making horizontal strokes like this, also under the small shape. And it will be enough. Let's merge some of the layers, like these three, and actually all layers for the islands. Then go to layer 42, create another one above it, clip it, and paint under the island, like this. Maybe we can make it slightly darker to match it with the color, like this. Then deselect. We can see that this shadow here is green, so let's fix it. I'm gonna merge these two layers, and then we need to find the layer where we have the shadow. It's this one. Here we can go to Selection, switch to Automatic, and first tap on the shape. You may need to adjust selection threshold. Now we need to invert it to recolor the shadow. Let's use color 15. Just tap on the brush and paint on this color. It'll change. Now we can remove selection, and it is ready. We can start working on the mountains. First we need to create a layer under this one, right above the background. Select color number 18, increase the size a little bit, and just paint the shadow behind the mountain, on the background, like this. Let's first go to the layer with this mountain. It's number 43, add another one on top of it that we need to clip. Let's also set it to multiply mode to get a darker tone. Here we can use color 12. Let's create a selection like this at the lower side, and we can save it here to use it later. Now if we tap on the brush, we can paint this small shadow under the paper, like this. Go to the right side, back and forth. Now let's deselect, go back, and load our selection. After that invert it, tap on the brush again, and this time paint on top of this line. Just like this, to create this shadow. Alright, now we can remove this selection as well, go back, And to add more details looking like papers, we can draw a couple arcs. First one, and then one more here. Let's go upward to close it, and then paint on top of each selection, making the shadows. If we deselect it, it'll look like this. Now we can keep doing it with other layers. First, let's merge this. Go to layer 44, then add another one on top of it, clip, and select color 18. First, we can paint the shadow above this one. Let's make it not very thick and also not too dark, so we don't have to press too much on the pencil. Now when they're separated, we can use selection. Here we can just draw a solid shape like this, starting from the left side, make curves, and go to the right. Maybe a little bit more to the right side, up, and then close it on top. Tap on the brush, and paint. Just like this. So we created another shape inside this one, looking like another paper. We can deselect and check. I think it's fine. So we can merge these layers too, and go to the next one. Let's pick color number 12, make another layer above it, and just paint in normal mode, the first layer of shadow. It will go above the previous mountain, like this. So instead of duplicating the layers multiple times or drawing them, we are making the shadows very easily. Now let's go to selection and add more shapes inside this one. We can start from the left side, make a small curve like this, outline it on top, and then paint above it, just as we did before. Okay, this one is ready. We can remove selection, then activate it once again, and add something here on the right. I'm gonna start from here, go up like this, then close it, and paint. You can create your own shapes, according to what you have. Maybe we can add something on the left side too, to make it look harmonious. Let me go this way, also close it, so we can paint. Just one more layer of paper. Let's check it out. Then merge these two layers. Go to layer 46 with the last mountain. Also add another one above it. And clip. Let's pick color number 4 here. Let's just go to the color disk and make it slightly darker by dragging the color down. First we can draw this shadow right above the previous mountain. Make it not very high, like this. Let me go back here and then use selection to outline the first shape. It can be here at the bottom. A few curves like this, then it needs to go up. I'll tap on the brush and paint above it to create another layer of paper. Let's remove this selection and then make another one. I will draw from here, go to the left side, then also close it and paint above. This will be one more layer of paper. So you can create your own shapes, as many as you wish. I will create another selection on this side. Maybe start from this paper and go down with a couple curves. Now let's outline it on top like this and paint this shadow. We can remove selection now. I think I will draw the last shape here. Just an arc. Go up and paint the last shadow. Right here. Now this one is ready. Alright, the design looks complete. Maybe we can add some final touch to it, like a couple more shadows here. So let's find layer 42, apply alpha lock on it, select color number 17, and separate these two papers from each other by making a stroke here. Then do the same on the left side, because they have similar colors here. It is now ready. We can add papers, and to do that, let's create a layer on top of all layers. Set this one to linear burn. Then go to the color palette and select color number 11. Go to the brush set and pick real paper 6. It's from marker set. We just need to make a stroke like this, all over the canvas. We will get this nice paper texture, but that's not all yet. Let's add one more layer and set this one to soft light, so we can use black color to add another paper. It's this one, called stucco. Let's make a stroke, like this. And this is what we will get. Looks a little bit too dark, so we can duplicate the layer and invert the one on top. It will disappear if we click on the arrow and then tap a couple times on the side. It will move and pop up. So we will get this nice 3D effect with paper. Now we can toggle all the layers with papers. Go here, copy canvas and paste to adjust the colors. Let's bring back all papers, go to adjustments and adjust curves. We can add contrast by moving the sliders like this, in the opposite directions. I think it's fine. We can keep this result. To add even more realism to our artwork, let's add one more layer on top of all layers. Set it to soft light and go to select white color from the disk. Let's select basic incliner with pressure. And maybe also lower the opacity of the layer to around 65%. Set the size to 3% or so. And start creating outlines to add thickness to papers. So it will look like cardboard or high density paper. Due to the blending mode, the color will blend with all the colors in the papers and look natural. With this technique we have saved a huge amount of layers. Just imagine that we would need to duplicate every layer to add the slight edge for papers. And here it's all done on a single layer. It may take some time to finish all the outlines, so I'm gonna speed up the process. Just make sure to do every layer and keep in mind that the brush is pressure sensitive. And after this final step, our realistic paper cut landscape is complete. If you enjoyed following this tutorial, I will appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Procreate videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.